So we were forced to do for self and do for each other, for by of each other, for us by us. You feel me? But now that they took segregation away, what do you do? Oh, I gotta keep up with the Jones, I gotta do this. And this is one of the problems while you're and us are in certain situations, because like as a woman, I don't know your situation, is like, but you have to do what you have to do to make sure you support your family. But if you was in an African state of mind, now women don't take this personal. Please don't take this personal. In an African state of mind, polygamy is not looked down upon the way you European, African American minded women are looking at it. The reason why you are against it, because you're caught up in the Roman antics. You know what Roman antics are? Romantics. Romance. Oh, he's my man and I won't share him with nobody because I love him, right? But in African time, we didn't do it for sexual purposes. A lot of people got that stuff twisted. Because you got a lot of wives, you don't see too many children like that in certain countries, right? Because they didn't do it for sexual gratification. They did it like, what skill you got? What can you do? What can you do? How can you contribute, help the family? You know what I'm saying? We get in here in America, you think like a Caucasian, the first thing you got, oh, got a second wife, that's more sex with me. More babies, more bills, more problems. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have an African, the men don't have an African state of mind either. They look at the woman as, oh, something I can put my love muscle in. You feel me? They don't look at it like, well, how can it benefit the family? You know what I'm saying? But if you had a co-wife, or if you was in that state, you wouldn't have these problems. But the European, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm actually in a situation like that.
And it's not working?
No, not at all.
Why is it not working? Is it the mentality?
It's not my mentality.
No, it's not the mentality. Talk about, see, in order for it to work, everybody has to be on the same wavelength mentally. A man can't, let me be honest with you, African American men cannot be polygamous because they're not raised that way.
I see that.
Huh?
I can see that. I know that now.
They're not groomed for that. All they know is what they know. If you got a Caucasian mind, you can't deal with polygamy because you think like a sex fiend. Oh, I got two women. Oh, I'm living it. I'm balling. You hear me? And you know, it sounds good, but at the end of the day, people get hurt and situations end up real messed up. You feel what I'm saying? They have to work financially, not emotionally. You feel what I'm saying? And what happened is our women got to choose their men better. Because you can't sit here and get mad at the man because you allowed the situation to happen. Grandma knew what she was talking about. You didn't listen to grandma, and you didn't listen to your mother because your mother said, I don't like him. Now here's the question, if your mother never met him before, why wouldn't she not like him? How old are you, about 27?
No, thank you.
Huh?
I am 32.
Okay, so you're very experienced. If your daughter's 14 years old and she brought some hooligan in the house, right? You say, I don't like him, but your daughter said, oh, I love him, right?
Right.
And your daughter won't know what you tell her, I ain't trying to hear what you're saying. She doesn't understand is that you've been with a guy like that before. You hear me? But you won't tell her that because you put yourself on this pedestal, I'm mama, I don't do wrong. But if you were to be, you had to take the good with the bad. I was with a man like that before. I let him run through me. I did everything he did, and all I cared about was him loving me back. But people will love you if you love yourself first. A lot of our women don't love themselves. You got to understand is that the European did such a good job on y'all. He abused you, he raped you, and we were supposed to protect you. But how can I sit there and say I'm trying to protect my woman and I act like the enemy? I wear the enemy clothes, I put on the enemy's perfumes and colognes, I sound like the enemy. Hey, how you doing? And then you want me to protect you, and then when the white man take what he wants from you, like, well, he treats me better than you do, but he's been abused also mentally. You talk about 400 years of mental slavery. We were better off physically enslaved as opposed to mentally. At least physically it said we know who we are. But mentally, now we don't know who we are and we're free. You feel what I'm saying? So the whole thing is that women have to make a decision on how they pick their men. Because you can't do it for love. A lot of women say, I just want to be loved. There's nothing wrong with that. But stability comes first. Because if you love a man, and I love you, and he don't take care of you, you go 4 or 5 kids, and these kids grow up bitter and mad, and you're mad at the man because he didn't handle his business. It's about taking care of your queen first. That love stuff will come later. His love is shown by providing and taking care of the family, making sure you're happy. Women understand that, and they won't lose. But people into that moment, you see, when you act like a Caucasian, it backfires. We all been guilty of it. We all had our heart broken. We was that person and we thought it was, and it didn't work out because if you're acting that way and he acting that way and it don't go together, it goes against your natural nature. And when it fails, you can only say, "Damn, what happened?" Women talk about, "I went to 5 guys and men no guts." And you go to every man. No, I said, how can you say that? It's about the men you pick. Why is it that every man that you pick has similar personalities? Because ain't nothing different about the men you pick. There's a certain thing that you like that you call your standards. And when you pick a certain particular man, it's the same dude, he just has different clothes on and he has a different feature. But it's the same energy, same vibe. Because someone dictated that to you through television, magazines, and word of mouth. You need a man that's talk up and hands a good job, this, that, right? Your expectation is so high and it's not Denzel. You feel me? So it's like everybody ain't Denzel, and the ones that do act like that are it's some good acting. And you just fell for the okie doke. And then later on you realize, oh, he changed. No, he went back to being himself. He just couldn't keep up the facade for so long because you're living with him now. As long as y'all wasn't stay together, he was Mr. Perfect. Then when y'all moved together like that, he ain't the same dude I was talking to for 4 years. We just moved in together. I got a ring on my finger now. He just changed. No, he got comfortable and he's going back to his natural nature. Because he knew that if he would have came at you as himself, like, nigga, you lame. I don't like you. Get away from me. You irritate me. But now that you already invested 4 years in your relationship in him, now you got, does it sound familiar to you? Huh?
Yes.
We all, it happened to Mills too. We thought she was one way and it changed up on you. And then all you got to do is say, look, thank you. You taught me something. Because it takes about what? Till a woman gets 45, 50, realize the game. It's a game. Now the older woman know how to play the game and she go get the young buck to manipulate. You feel me? Because she knows the game. Some people are able to work. If you would see, if you take everything away from the so-called African American Caucasian, that's why I say that, right? And tell them the whole. If you tell a woman how men manipulate, that man cannot manipulate him, but he had to literally be himself. And when he be himself, then you say, now you have the choice to say, I think I like you. But because he don't, because the standards have been written so high with society, because of how we're supposed to act, we're both liars on both sides. Women say, well, you know, I'm trying to get my nails done, look good, so I got long nails. I'm gonna get my hair done. I'm gonna put some human hair in my head. I'm gonna put some lashes on. I'm gonna put a little blush on my cheeks. I'm gonna put some extra makeup, colorful makeup on my lips. I'm gonna get my boobs bigger. I'm gonna make my butt bigger, right? And I'm gonna look for me a natural man. So you come into him with a lie. You hear me? But I don't want. But he can't put no Jerry curl on his hair. He can't have no long fingernails. He can't be feminine, you know, because she's like, I don't want that. I want a real man. Am I right or wrong? But how can you want a real man and you're not real yourself? And the men don't be real because they be lying on the inside because they insecure. I want to be a real natural woman, but when you get it, like, oh, she's too headstrong, or she's too independent, or she makes up money too much. I can't even get a word of edgewise. She won't submit to me. But you did it for your mama. And you love your mama. You be a nigga down for your mama. But you won't do that for your woman. Because you ain't having sex with your mama. You having sex with her. That's a little bit more benefits. But this is the mentality. It'll work out for you. Don't worry about it. It'll work out. It'll open up. It's called focusing. This is one of the things our master teacher called the mind book and your potential. We have the power to be successful. Right? But what happened is you cannot use that formula with a Caucasian tactics. Because what happened is our people are destroying our own people who say, I'm a very successful businessman. No, you're a very successful manipulator. We never saw how these black billionaires made their money because we always saw the success. You got a nice car, and we never watched how you move. Now that you have the thing called the internet and cable TV and your reality shows, the reality shows actually exposes how you guys get their money. You are using their tactics and you take your own people out. You talking about you love African Americans, but you talk about drugs on your songs. I got the bricks and I got keys and G's and support me and all that, right? I sell record label. I got labels and stuff. I got artists, and I'm watching how you manipulate and destroy your artists. We never saw it before, because we never heard the story with the Whitney Houstons and the unsung, unsung and how these guys were being ripped off by their record labels. Now the black business record label owners are doing the same thing to their own artists. They're giving them shady contracts. The next thing you know, you're giving them advances, the next money's going, this guy's homeless on the street. Now, but you still gotta pay me. You got 5 albums you gotta put out. You owe me money. You in the red. And if you don't pay me, you're dead. So these guys like Jay-Z and P. Diddy and all these guys are exploiting their own people. You're selling us bad vodka, giving us high-end clothes that I can buy from the Koreans, and just put Rockaway on it and Sean Combs on it. You go into the same sweatshop as the oppressor, selling us a $40 jacket that only costs you 4 cents to make. Now you're using your own tax, and then what happens? When income tax time come or tax write-off time come off, you don't even take none of that money and say, let me open up a little recreation center in the hood or some type of thing, or memorial park or some type of thing to get back. No, you give your money to the white people. I mean, just donate to skin cancer, what's the other thing? Multiple sclerosis and the Marks and Dimes and Make-A-Wish. You're looking out for these people, and you're not even looking out for your own people who gave you a head start on how to become a billionaire. Jay-Z up there making millions of dollars at Barney's, and you guys are racist, and he's like, well, I didn't see no racism. He can't go against them, he already in the contract, and if he try to go out there, they'll take all his money from him. You see what he's doing to Kanye West, open his mouth about the Jew. He was talking trash before that, right? But as soon as he made his Jewish statement, his concert stopped selling. Google's passing his music away for free. Now, Nike don't want to put the Air Yeezys out, and I don't even know if he's going to put his other shoe out now. So he's being whitewashed by his own masters. And this is why he keeps saying, new slave, new slave. Nigga, you the same slave. Ain't no such thing as a new slave. You just a new slave with money. It's still a slave is a slave. Old and new, you still have a master. Because it's the same old, and a new master, same old master. You don't have the right master, which is probably the bad doing, who's doing for you and help you. You got a slave guy who will abuse you and use you. You know what I'm saying? So once we got to get back into our natural state, once you tap into your forces, you can become successful. This is why the Caucasian will see your success and say, hey, I would like to buy you out. I'll give you $40 million for your idea. You say, wow, I only made $15,000 a month off of it. I can actually buy this and buy that. What's wrong with $15,000? Anybody can say that. Can you survive off $15,000 a month? What can you do with $15,000 a month? Like what? Can you buy a Maserati with $15,000 a month? How about a yacht? How about a 40-room mansion with 3 swimming pools, 1 upstairs, 1 in the house, and 1 outside? Because here's the question. Oprah and got all this money, and you're buying big houses, right? And you're the only nigga in it. What is the point? Huh? Let me go to the kitchen. I walk half a block to the kitchen. Let me go down to the, you hear me? You in that big house by yourself. Now, if you had a big family, like if you was in South Carolina, Alabama, I can see you with a 40, y'all can all move in. You bring the whole clan up in there. But you don't do that because you don't think like an African no more. Caucasians moved, the Kardashians don't live in separate houses. They niggas stay in the same house. They got all that money. No, we gonna stay here and save this money. You can have your little apartment here, but this is the home base. You look at the rich white people, they stay in the same crib most of the time. They might have a little vacation home, but they got the main crib. But no, I didn't even have my own stuff. This is what keeps us separated. When you try to keep up with the Joneses, you become the Joneses. So once you start focusing in on what you need, not what you want. What you want is because you don't need 18 cars for what? Why would you buy all those cars? 3 is good. Family car, a flex car, and a work car. You feel me? If you got money like that, you don't need 18,000 cars. And now you already got the women. You got the money, you got the women. So how many cars do you want to be? What type of woman do you need? Some woman? Huh? Now you want to need a spaceship for that. You hear me? But the whole thing is that you got all the women. What other women do you need to impress when you got the bad baddest chicks in the world. You gotta get another new car to pull a bad chick. And I ain't say bad as in good looking, because them new chicks be busted. They like from more for like transvestite, they be busted. Loving hip hop, them chicks look raggedy, but then guys give money to hoes. Hoes rule right now. The good woman don't even give as much benefits to hoes right now. Look at Loving Hip Hop. Kardashian made billions of dollars for a sex tape. Humming. Plus is mad at her. I would do $5. This chick got 50 mil. You feel me? Any other questions though?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I know you got some questions out here. Go ahead.
My question is, one fine, say, we had a ball and we had fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Where the sisters making the garb at?
You said the garb?
The garb.
Let me see. Who's it?
Where the sisters that make the garb?
You see that guy right there in the back? Sit in the back?
I said the sisters, he sold.
No, his mother. His mother.
You know when we were
I know. His mother is one of those people. So get with him. Huh? No, his mother is one of those sisters that was making those garbs.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, the royal stuff. That's his mother.
Who is it making?
That's his mother. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
I don't know. He's explained about the 7 chakras of the body. Do you know anything about that?
Oh yeah. And with that, I'd like to pass the question over to my brother, my Ature. That's why I step over there for you.
Give me 1 second. I think I'll gather all the information I need. You know what I'm saying? While the brothers were gathering the information about the chakras, as they're called, first of all, understand that the doctrine of the chakras was something that was introduced to us by the Hindu religion. And the reason that they only gave us 7 is because they could only go as high as 7 etheric. You know what I'm saying? Talk about those beings, the Dravidian or the Hindu stock. Whereas as Nagaru, we actually have 9. You know what I'm saying? And that goes beyond just the physical. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and pull that information out and talk about chakras. And those chakras also superimposes with different glands in the body. You know what I'm saying? The pituitary, the pineal, you know what I'm saying? Even the, what you consider the solar plexus. All these different things are different seats in the human body that has to be in line. And they're also linked with the nerve centers of the body. And they vibrate a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? And through concentration and meditation, you're able to actually ascend through all those different states. You know, but I'm going to make sure I got information more so I can explain to you much better. Go ahead, though.
You say it's a bit like getting in tune with our body, more as
Go ahead, brother. What was that?
basically I just want to know, like, what is it for? Is it basically coming more in tune with our body? Because I read up on it a little bit, and I just want to get a better understanding of it, that's all.
Okay. It does, but it also represents spiritual seats inside the body. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to quote something from a book our master teacher put out way back in the 70s called The Science of Healing. And he revised it back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start on page 33 to give you more information. The spiritual senses represent a secondary set of senses. I got to get used to an eye cry, we got to excuse me. Corresponding to the senses. No, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Okay. To the senses, let me read it again, page 33. The spiritual senses represent a secondary set of senses corresponding to the senses of the physical plane. So yes, it does relate to the physical plane. In other words, the earthly sense of hearing, thank you very much, seeing, feeling, smelling, and taste have spiritual counterparts by which the body receives impressions. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, just to give you more information on the senses also, our master teacher was the first one that revealed that all the senses are actually one sense, which is touch. Because to see something is for light to touch the object and reflect to the eye. That's the sense of touch. To taste something, to put an object or a thing on your taste buds, and that's a sense of touch. To smell is particles in the air that touches the nerves inside your nostril, and that's a form of touch. Hearing is what? That's right, because sound is energy, you know what I'm saying? And that touches the eardrum, and it interprets what we call sound, or noise, or voices, whatever the case may be. And of course, to take your hand and to feel something is a form of touch. So all the senses are really one. Let me go further. All right, 7 seats or chakras of the human body and descriptions. Number 1, root, or what you call the basic seat, located at the base of the spine. It superimposes the prostate area of the male and the uterus in the female. So that's number 1. Number 2, you have the spleen or the splentic seat, located over the spleen. It superimposes the navel and extends to embed some of its roots in the spleen. Number 3, you have navel or umbilical seat, located at the navel. Did I just read that? No, I didn't. Located at the navel over the solar plexus. It superimposes the solar plexus area and the great lobe of the liver, right? Number 4, you have the heart or cardiac seat, located over the heart. It superimposes the thymus gland between the shoulder blades and the right auricle or pulse point of the heart. Number 5, you have the throat or longical seat, located at the front of the throat. It superimposes the thyroid gland in the throat and extends to embrace the medulla oblongata. Number 6, the bow or frontal seat, located at the top of, located in the space between the eyebrows. And what's so interesting about that, right? If you look at the Hindu people, they have a red dot in between that right there. That's also considered the what? The third eye. In ancient times, or our ancient ancestors, the Egyptians, put the cobra there. The cobra symbolized wisdom and it symbolized healing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I read about opening your pineal gland.
Say that again?
I read about like opening your pineal gland, opening your third eye. Do you know anything a better understanding about a guy? I have a friend of mine, he did the same thing, opened his third eye, and I'm kind of scared to do it, because he said you got to be more in tune with yourself.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? And in order for me to answer your question, I have to understand where you're coming from. Because you have people that goes around that says, I have a third eye open, right? The question is, how would you know that? Not you per se, but how can you confirm that? Is there a way that can be confirmed? In other words, you know what I'm saying? Because what it is you have to understand something about our condition as far as African Americans in the West. Because everything was taken away from us, right? We were open to listen to anyone and everything and just accept it, just believe without really having some kind of tangible confirmation, right? And the lack of knowledge of spirituality has a big role to play in it also, because our sense of spirituality is based upon Bible or Quranic or religious standpoint of view. Or we look towards the East for their teachings, when in fact, all world people came to us to learn these things. And were given different sciences based upon their own genetics. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I'm asking the question. It's not to put you on the spot or anything, but to have a greater understanding about that. Because the third eye deals with the conscious seat. You know what I'm saying? And what our master teacher is doing is, he's giving you the facts based upon it, on the physical side and on the spiritual side, so you have a better understanding about that. You know what I'm saying? The third eye would be the mental seat, or when your mind opens up, when you're no longer affected by that which blinds you, because light blinds. You know what I'm saying? All that you see is not true. All that you hear is not true. You understand? It's all about having sound right reasoning. Go ahead, brother.
He spoke about that, not seeing what I see right now. He said, you don't see what I'm seeing right now, because that's how he explained it. So he's talking about a technique to use to open it up, and I don't know about it at that time.
What did he say that technique was?
Something about just do something with your tongue, meditate. Somebody put your teeth, in your space of your teeth, or something like that. Something in a small space of your teeth, and that's some word. This is a word you say. I'm not for sure though.
Right. Well, let me do this. I'm going to read this to you. This is coming from our master teacher, from the book, What is Soul and Spirit, about the third eye, right? Okay, I'm going to start on page 60. It says, ancient spiritual healers, learned men, teachers, and loyal devotees of mystic schools also had knowledge of the third eye. And the light has been identified under such names as the virtue, vital energy, invisible antenna, and a stream of vital power, cosmic energy. The ancient Egyptians identified with the third eye and and his was made visible throughout their culture. And further references as a sleeping serpent. The third eye is your insight or inner sense that all human beings were born with. That's what it is. And that has been cut off from us. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about understanding spiritual teachings, you have to have a spiritual master or a spiritual guide. I would say this, brother, it is very dangerous to experiment with things like that, especially when taken up upon different schools that's not related to you genetically, right? Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna write something on the board. This may help you more to understand where I'm coming from. That race ain't working. You have different races on the planet, right? You have Caucasians, you have Asians, you have Dravidians, and you have Negroes or Nagaru. It is a fact that we are the oldest and the most potent people on the planet, the Nagaru. We are the ones who started what they call civilizations, because we were the civilizers. We are responsible for building great schools of thought, like ancient Egypt, right? And it is a fact that all world people came to us to learn. You know what I'm saying? We hold the oldest schools on the planet. And we have certain sciences that only we can adopt, because we vibrate much higher. What I mean by vibrate much higher is this. As Nagaru or Negro people, we are considered what's called nine ether, right? You understand what I mean by nine ether?
I have a little understanding of it.
Okay. To understand what nine ether is a combination of all existing gases and conscious gases in nature. This is what we're composed of. So we have the highest intellect and reasoning in nature, and this is a fact. And this is why we have the most compassion, right? So 9, when you deal with numbers, when you think about numbers, anything after 9 repeats itself, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 is 1 and a 0 and repeats back to 9 again. So at the Negroid race have 9 ether. Our hair texture curls into a 9. We are the most unique race. No other race on the planet, this is real, has kinky hair like we do. None. Every other race on the planet has what you call fur. Literally. Straight fur. You know what I'm saying? Under the 9 ether beings, our children were called the Dravidians, or the Dravidu, and they vibrate as high as 7 ether, ethically. So their energy is from 1 to 7, and that's it. I'm sorry, 1 to 8. I'll just say that. 1 to 8, as high as 8, right? Then you have what you call the Mangalos, or the Mangalu, in our language. And they have spiky hair. Their hair is more hollow shaped. And this is a fact. Native Americans and people of Asian descent have hollow hair. This is why it spikes up. And they go as high as 7. Then under them, you have the weakest of the human genome, and that is the Caucasian. And they go as high as 6 ether with the females, and 5 ether with the males. You understand? And each race on the planet, to strengthen their genes, guess who they have to come to? Exactly. Us, their mothers and fathers. The problem is this. For the last 6,000 years, we were in a sleep state. We lost knowledge of self and kind, right? And it takes a spiritual master to come every 25,000 years to renew our story. And that is none other than our master teacher. People have spiritual knowledges, true. To the Asians, they have ancestral links, right? And they have spiritual sciences that works for them. That is their force, right? Then to the Indians, it's the same way. They have spiritual teachings that work for them and by them. But because we are not ether, it does not work for us. So we have to identify what is ours. The problem is, we were given a false doctrine for the last 6,000 years. We were given Christianity, right? In the worst ways. Islam in the worst way, and Judaism in the worst way. And we are open to being everything else but what we are as Africans. Can I ask you a question? Can you name anything that we do as an African in America, as African Americans? Name one thing that we do that's considered African. Not human. Eating is a part of being human. You gotta eat, you gotta sleep, you know what I'm saying? What is it that we do that's considered African?
I guess some of the women wear their hair natural, I guess, and we have wear natural hair. Some people.
Yeah,
That's
so there's Asians. They wear their hair natural. That's what I mean. I'm making a point by saying this. We lost knowledge of that. What is it to be African? What is it to be us? You know what I'm saying? How do we tie into our spiritual sciences? You have to remember, Africa was colonized, not only physically, but mentally. The Arabs came into Africa and spread their religions. That worked for them. That's for the Arabs, the Arab gods. Why Africans adopted Arab religions? Because the invaders came in and enslaved them mentally and physically. And that was a process of 1,400 years. And then the ones who were brought here under Christianity. And the thing about it is, in the 60s, a lot of different cultures came here with their stuff. That's why yogi and all that stuff came here to America in the 60s, and we were experimenting with anything just to be other than American. There was a cultural explosions in the 60s, correct? I mean, I wasn't born in the 60s, but we know that that's a fact. And the thing about it is, our master teacher came in 1963 with an African science. The African science called Wu-nuwaup. You know what I'm saying? Under the guidance of Wu-nuwaupu, Asanupu, and Napanupu. And those books were published in 1967. They were called Behind the Nine Walls. And they were scientifically formulated for the African people to liberate us spiritually, physically, and mentally. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I don't want to deviate too much from your question. But the thing about it is, you could go into any school of thought, and you will have different terms for what the 7 seats are, the chakras, but they cannot take you to the 9 degrees, like that of our master teacher. You understand? Because he'll give you the exoteric and esoteric. He will give you the physical knowledge and link it to the spiritual knowledge, and give you a clear understanding of what spiritual is and what spiritual is not. Worshiping a spook God is not spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't sustain us spiritually. But having the knowledge of spirituality, understanding quantum physics, you understand? That's the doorway to the spiritual world. And in this day and time, because of the renewal of 25,000 years, we come to fruition, or we come to the knowledge of understanding this. You know what I'm saying? Not in the form that they give it to us, because they will always give it to us in a confused state, to always be the authority over us. When I say they, I'm talking about those who are in control of education. You know what I'm saying? And they give you an understanding of what it is, but it can be very confusing if you really don't grasp it. They do that on purpose to, now it is, to be the overseers. You know what I'm saying? But we have a true God in this day and time, and he's put enough book out there. Like this right here, I highly recommend this for you right here. It's called What is Soul and Spirit?
What is soul and spirit?
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? What is Soul and Spirit? Definitely pick that book up. The Science of Healing. Soul, Spirit, Spirit. Some of the actual factors put up to give you the knowledge that you need. And then, most importantly, how to apply it. That is the most important thing, because we do it a lot. We're knowledge hogs. We take a lot of information, but we don't know how to apply it. Our master teacher has given us the science and the formula of how to apply it. It's up to us to do it. Do you know why? Because only now ether could liberate itself. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Jesus coming to save us. We got to save ourselves, and not as non-ether people. Because we are the gods of all others, and they know that. And they have a concentrated effort to keep that God suppressed by keeping you distracted, whatever it may be, and everybody else stuff. Like our master teacher said, he said, you see an African try to be Hare Krishna, you know what I'm saying? You see an African try to be a monk, a Buddhist monk, anything but who we are. And it's that time to embrace who and what we are. Wu-nuwaup is the first culture that is validated here in the West. You know what I'm saying? We just have to embrace it and make it work. You understand? I hope that answers your question. You have any other questions? Come on, people. Y'all keep here for a sermon. This is question and answer classes. I hope everybody brought a pen and pad to come to learn, to get some research, go home with, investigate? You look like you got a lot of questions. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, I'll put you on the spot. Go ahead. But with that, I'm going to pass the class on to my good brother, Atumbuta Emre Atumre.
Go ahead.
This question kind of relates back to one of the geneticist questions the brother was asking earlier. I was on YouTube and I was watching one of Pop's tapes. It's called The Human Reptile.
Yeah.
And in it, he was describing how within a female, when a baby is born, that this baby is basically encaged in the womb, filled with water, because it acts, I think he said, alien to the female body. I want to know if that's her genetics and that's her. Why does it have to be consumed in the womb? Like, why is it so alien to her?
Because what happened is this. In the Holy Tablets, in the Black Book, it said that when they had to create an avatar or a new body on this planet, right? You talk about an alien DNA coming to a foreign planet, and it had to be planted there. It took them billions of years for this thing to evolve from a protozoa to amoeba into a life form. And what happened is it had to take on different times, it had to die and then rebirth, die, rebirth. It's a cycle. It ain't like it's just a thing with an amoeba and this work. It died, and what happened from that, it rebirthed itself, but then it took on a genetic material of how to evolve. So you're dealing with alien species. Like if you got two different species in the same room, what would happen? They will attack each other because they're not the same nature. So now that you're dealing with different DNA of different species, this is why it says in the woman's womb when the sperm is traveling, there's so many sperm cells that knew that the body has a natural defense to protect it from it. Because you remember that one time these beings didn't have to procreate the way we procreate now. You understand what I'm saying? That the woman would actually give birth to herself, but it was always a female because she only has an X chromosome. So when the pineal gland is activated, she gives birth to females. This is why it could never been a male when they were reproducing on their own, because there's no male species there, because this is absent. You hear me? So the female body attacks this because it's foreign to it. It's defective. It's not part of the genetic makeup. Somebody altered it. It's not part of the natural nature. You know what I'm saying? As you read the book called the Black Book. Let me show you right here. So is the Y chromosome a defect of the X? Scientists today have discovered that the Y chromosome in sperm has 2.8% less genetic material than the X chromosome in the same sperm specimen. Researchers were able to shift sperm to produce samples in which 85% of the cell had an X chromosome. In fact, the X chromosome is 5 times larger than the Y chromosome, which means that the female existed for generations without the male. To get the Y chromosome out of the X chromosome, you lose one's own point. Meaning that at one time, when this was existing, it was like this. What happened is this was removed. Once this was removed, under the microscope, it gives the appearance of a Y chromosome. This is how they're able to introduce the X and Y alphabet into the English language because it came from something that was physical. You know what I'm saying? So the chromosome is defective, which is why the man has the same components on his body that the woman does. For example, the breast and nipples, however, men don't breastfeed. Men are a genetic defect of women. A woman not only breastfeeds her children, but she nurtures the whole world with her wisdom. So the whole thing is you're understanding that this is being reinserted into the female's genetics. But it's alien to it because it's been altered. And the body doesn't pick on it. That's why it builds up natural defenses against it. Now that when the sperm fertilizes that egg, you have a hybrid. Do you understand what I mean by a hybrid? It's not this right here is a defective female. So you're creating a new life form from a pure female and a defective female, what makes it a hybrid that you call a human. See, we gotta look at stuff on different dimensions, different levels. This right here is alien to the female. Now you got the chromosome that's coming, that's mixed in with this X chromosome, different genetic makeup of chromosome from the male also is coming from out his body. So you talk about the DNA of this hybrid, defective female now wants to reinsert itself back into the original. And this is why the woman built up natural defenses, because it's alien to her now, because it's been altered. You understand that? And this is why it happens like that. Because you gotta remember, at one time, the egg was on the outside. You hear me? They used to lay the egg on the outside. There's still an egg inside it, that's why the baby's inside the amniotic sac. If you go online on YouTube, they actually show they pull the egg out of a woman's womb. Did I see, anybody see that on Facebook, YouTube? These, I think they were French doctors, and they had it laid on the table, and the baby was still inside the sack. They didn't bust the sack, right? And when they pushed the sack, the baby was like moving. So that means right there, it's like it was still inside an egg. You feel me? So the egg is to protect the baby from the female because it doesn't recognize it. It recognizes the alien. So the body naturally encloses the egg around the baby to protect it from the mother inside the womb. Because it's not as pure as you think it is. You know what I'm saying? And this is from genetic alterations that they had to do in order for them to survive here on this planet. Anybody get that? Any questions? Any questions? You go ahead.
All right. How about the breakdown of the new double unk? Explanation, breakdown of the double unk.
What you want to know about it? What you want to know about it?
Just break the whole unk down. We'll start with the original unk and why it makes it double.
Okay. I can answer it, but I'll let my brother do it. I know he like to answer that question. I pass it over to my brother. I add a cat up to him.
Break it down.
And break it down to help you.
No, it's like,
Okay, well, let's start with the unk
Right.
at first, right? The unk, of course, as we were taught for many years, is a key to life, as you say, everlasting life, but the key to the doorway to eternal life. And of course, if you look at the unk, one of the things about the unk is you look at it and it symbolizes reproductive organs, male and female, right? So when our master teacher introduced the symbol of the unk with the Yeshua on it, right? That represents the symbol of the living, and that represents the first resurrection. When he walked us from the school of religion into right knowledge. This is why we wore that symbol for a very long time. After the year 2000 or going to the next millennium, or the era of Alphamation, that new symbol is introduced, and it's called the Ankh Tweet. And the Ankh Tweet. Yeah, tweet is an Wu-nuwaup word for saying double or two. So this is symbolic of the double resurrection. After the year 2012, which marked, the beginning of a new era, or a new cycle, coming to a new sun cycle. That means that we are now in the era of Alphamation. We have mastered information for the last 30 years. The next 30 years will be considered the era of Alphamation, and it is time for that double resurrection. That's what that symbolizes, double resurrection. The double Ankh-Twi also symbolize the children of Re. The children of Re, who are us. The star children, in our time to come or resurrect again. Re-resurrection, in other words, And if you look at the symbol in the center, that red dot symbolizes the soul. The crescent symbolizes the mother, and the sun symbolizes the father. And that's what that symbol symbolizes. This is information our master teacher gave us so far on what that symbol means. So that's what you're looking at. So that's the symbol of double resurrection, the children of Re. The Ankh. Hope that answers your question.
So when I'm asked that question, then I can break it down.
Absolutely. It's about that. It's about knowing our stuff and know what symbols we wear. Anybody else have any questions at this time?
reading the New Copyright, the instigators, and it said I was reading a question coming about, it was saying that, it said the fallen ones had polluted the earth. But I was trying to figure out, they polluted the earth, they polluted the earth because they knew as us environment that they knew what it was going to become, or they just polluted the earth just for all races that was on the planet at the time.
What page you reading on? What page?
What page are you reading from?
I think it's the beginning, I think it's like number 10,
What, verse number 10, number 10?
yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's start from verse 1 and work our way to verse 10, so we have better clarity on this. This is the revelation of the Wu-nuwaup, Patarak the way, the instigators. Likum ay marar Wu-nuwaupu yasar ay kharadu. For you all, my beloved Wu-nuwaup family, my children, Wu-nuwaup is the right knowledge and genuine in every detail. It is true guidance and your way of life from before creation to a loftier conduct and pure hazab culture after creation. That was 2. 3. So therefore, carry out its precepts, rites, rituals, and perchance, Panataru may have kindness to you as a new being born again. Number 4. It is in fact the true black light of haqqat, facts, beyond any doubt. Green light of health and red light of pleasure, revealing gift to those who stay in Wu-nuwaup as Nuwaupu, Nuwaupians. Number 5, it unmasks dishonesty and what deceivers never display or even know. Number 6, Wu-nuwaupu has inspired those of the ancient Egyptian order with integrity as validation of your true way of life to supersede any so-called religiousness, any sect, group, or clan. Number 7, even if infidels refuse to accept or even behold, it will still stand as a true vision to the children of Pa-Kamanu, Abduaz, Pa-Sabatu, Idiots, Pa-Kabatu, demigods or angels, and Pa-Nataru. Number 8, subsequently, Pa-Nataru inspired Wu-nuwaup as sound, right reasoning into my being and into my heart as Atumraye, as Pa-Munzal, Amun-nabab-raye Achakbatar, and as Pa-nabab Yanun, or Jetri. Number 9, I in turn recorded it with eloquence to beaming as rays of the protectors of Wu-nuwaup from the very start. Number 10, Pa-munfalu, the fallen ones, have polluted Pa-kawak-taha, the planet Earth. And that was the question, right? Have they polluted the planet Earth?
Yeah.
Okay. Have polluted the planet Earth after Pa-nataru have purified it for you. Number 11, and this is going to happen. There's a cursed leper children, Pa-Kananu, the Canaanites, as Celtics, or Mukasu, Caucasoids, are arrogant and proud for no reason at all. Okay? Now, in order to understand the answer to that question, you have to understand who the fallen ones are. And that ties into what the brother brought up earlier in this class, how you have different groups of extraterrestrials that came to this planet with their own purpose. So the fallen ones were a group of extraterrestrial beings from Aldebaran or Pleiades who came to this planet, who watched the action or interaction between male and females on this planet, the Adamites per se, and decided to rape the women. And this is a story in Genesis when they said the sons of God came and took the daughters of man. That was actually a rape that took place. And the children that came after that were very aggressive, very violent, flesh-eating children who even ate their own offspring. You know what I'm saying? That's how bloodthirsty they were, because you deal with extraterrestrials who have their own ways. And they were flesh-eating beings. Those Nephalu or Nephilians who came down here. They raped the Adamites, the little people, and produced children who were Gabor or mighty, as to say. And those offsprings had their own offsprings, and they were going around raping and killing and eating the flesh of human beings. and spreading diseases and violence throughout the planet. And Pt.2 sat and watched on in those days. So they messed up the master plan of what they had planned on this planet. Again, you had different beings or different extraterrestrials. The oldest seed on this planet was planted in by Pt.2, and that would be the Nagaru. So if you're looking at it in this day and time, you have a mess on their hands. You have people who are mixed up genetically and psychologically. I could meet somebody who may appear African, but have the mind of an animal, a straight killer, or a beast. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody who may be Caucasian and may adopt the same thing, or mulatto. It creates confusion in nature. You see, the thing about our doctrine is ontology. It deals with genetics and it deals with mathematics. Understanding who and what you are first, you know what I'm saying? And putting things in the right perspective to correct your genes. So this is what it's talking about. This is why my teacher is saying that we have to clean ourselves inside out and outside in. Not only your diet, right? What you're taking as far as food, what you listen to, what you drink, who you associate with, all that affects your genes. What you look at, the colors, the sound, everything affects you. You know what I'm saying? Even the knowledge that you take in. Because you're so mixed up. You may take in the knowledge that you think is good for you, but it's actually strengthening the wrong kind of gene in you. You know what I'm saying? And then you will step even further away from what you were created to be, or what your true purpose is, as an African, or as a descendant of Pt.2. Is that clear for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what it means by that. The word Nefalu means those who fell down. And the thing about these creatures is, when they knew that it was against the law to mix, or against intergalactical laws, to mix with the earthlings on this planet. What's that book? Sarabu or Farabu? Can you have me that? I'm going to go into a little bit in Sarabu Farabu. All right, I'm going to start with verse 1 of this Revelation. Page 1, verse 1. Likum, Wu-nuwaupu Yasar, beloved Nuwaupian family, my Haradu, children. I record this most holy scriptures, Pt.2 the way, as sent down to you all from above, as a true guidance, Pt.2 the way to live. These are Sajalat records of old days. It will tell of strange things. Great happenings in the Wakatat time of your Salafu ancestors. So this is going back in time, during the times of our ancestors. Those who lived in the beginning. All of you can know Pt.2 the way. All of you can know the times which was declared in this Pt.2 the way. Your Salafu ancestors, Pt.2, had their birth in events and times and places here on earth. Wu-Sabat, the host of idiots from Atum. Tafunat Wu-Shawab. Natat Wu-Gabab. Ashtat Wu-Asar. Natat Hatat. The 9 minds. This is dealing with the idiots and 9 states of minds. Now you read 1. Once upon a time, this world you know had 4 world cycles. This world you know has had 4 worlds within a world. This is the 4th, and this is dealing with the different cycles, the 6,000 year cycles. World as you are in now. Each world was 6,000 years each. Altogether, that is 24,000 years. Over those years, this planet has been born and died and reborn. Beings from older Kapalat worlds, from other star systems, used to come here for their own reasons. Some came to live in the caves or the caverns. Some came to live beneath the mayat, the waters. Some came on vacation, not to stay. Some came to hunt. Some came to retrieve the natural minerals. Some came for bara, food to eat. Some came to breed with the creatures here. There were those that came out of the waters and over time became many species. They found here many kinds of creatures, all protectors, and by the cube within the cube. And this is dealing with Pt.2. There was bovines, felines, canines, reptilians, fowlines, simians, and evolved sapiens, and insects of many kinds. Many came to this planet from as far as Andromeda, from Pleiades, these are star systems, Orion, Cyrus, Drago, Aldebaran of Taurus, from Zeta Reticula, from Eliun, and many others, some sub-beings or grafted beings. Some were good and agreeable, while others were bad and disagreeable. Some ate all kinds of flesh, even Homo sapien flesh. Yet there was order, and that's the most important thing. Those of Aldebaran moved to Orion and set up what is called Ashtar Command. These albinos worshiped ones, Atar, deity of light and fire. And those of Sahat, Orion, set up what was called Markaz, Riz Command. These two kept the order for many Takalat worlds. Many of the beings who came here would take on physical forms while here and incarnate. The highest of all was called Panatar, overall. Not just this planet or universe, yet multiverses, over the movement of the cube within the cube. They all would visit each other's worlds and planets, some to stay, others to exchange resources and minerals, as well as knowledge. So there was called silence in the world of worlds over all. By the time we came down to the third world cycle of this planet 12,000 years ago, some beings who wished to rule caused disorder. Many came to Earth, and this is going to your original questions. Many came to Earth without permission and would abduct creatures and eat them. Some to steal natural resources of this planet. In time, two groups decided to work together. The albino race of Kamak Plates or Pa-Tanadu, the Dragonians. They would abduct the Homo sapiens out of Ganao or Afafraeka, the little people of that land. Verse 70, and we'll start here. Many evil beings would start wars in Patapap, the heavens. This is recorded in many records of many people on earth in the past. Wars of fighting in the sky between the gods, angels, devils, and demons. In past times, beings from above were told, do not mix your DNA, your genes, with Homo erectus, Homo genus, Homo sapien. This is not a good thing. Well, some of the sons of these sky beings came to earth for vacation. There were 200 in all. This is where your 200 fallen angel come from. The word nafala or nafalu means to fall down. Nafala, that's literally what it means. And this ties into that particular book. They saw humanoids having sex in their fields and gardens and became sexually aroused or attracted to the female humanoids. This 200 killed their men and raped their women. Then returned to Patapap, the skies. But in time, there was talk of the rape of the daughters of humans and the killing of their men. Yet as worse as that was, that these 200 daughters of humanoids became pregnant with children of these cherubim or cherubim. This is where that came from. As you read in the Habaru Hebrews record, the Torah, Genesis chapter 5, verse 4. And the days of the earthlings, Adamites, after he had begotten Seth, were 800 years. Okay, 84. As word of this act spread up to Papatap, the heavens, they were asked, did you violate the laws of sex with humanoids? Of course, they all, 200 of them, lied and denied, claiming they did not have sex with the daughters of humanoids. Now, when the Haradu children were born of these little women, the sons born of them were tall in height. And this made it clear that 200 had lied, for these sons, or the sons were demigods, Gabaru. And like the Karabu, they were disagreeable and wicked. And I'm going to stop right there. You know what I'm saying? So this is, the way our master teacher teaches, he put pieces in different books, so you could actually connect the puzzles together. And there's more to come. As a matter of fact, the Age of Adamites Past, which came out recently, and there are many more Patarups that's coming out that's going to give you the whole breakdown of the whole story of what took place there. You know what I'm saying? Hope that answers your question. All right. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Hope to see y'all next week for question and answer classes. And as always, you can tune into these question and answer classes on YouTube. And also check out our website, www.wu-nuwaup.com, and also www.nuwaupic.com to learn the languages of our ancestors. Everybody get home safe, and I hope to see you all next week. Wu-nuwaup.